Well, what's going on, everybody? It's EavesDrop, and today we're going to be unboxing and taking a quick look at the Benq EX3501R ultra-wide curved gaming productivity, pretty much everything monitor. I'm super excited for this one. Okay, now earlier in the year, I did an unboxing of a different ultra-wide monitor, and I said it would probably be the biggest unboxing that we ever did on this channel, and that has now become false because that monitor was 34 inches and this one is 35. Now this monitor has a ton of features. They've decked it out with a ton of different things. You got HDR, USB-C, it has an 1800R curve to it. It's 3440 by 1440, which is a very nice resolution in terms of how it looks, in terms of sharpness, but also being able to play games really well. It's got a 100 Hertz refresh rate if you do want to play games, which is insane. Now I do have to give you guys the disclaimer, the Benq did send this out to me for free to review, and I do get to keep it, but I'm not going to let that influence my review or anything like that. So shout out Benq, and I cannot wait to get into this thing. So let's move this over here. We're gonna sit this down. I don't even know if you guys can hear me based off how this is going, but we're gonna lay this down here and we're gonna get right into this thing. Now I don't even know how we even start. We gotta pull these little tabs out of their hole. There we go, there's one. The other one's gonna be all the way back here. There's two. Now we can lay this thing down so we can open it up, and then we can just pull open this side and ta-da! Oh my god, this is so, like, I need more room than this. Oh my god. Okay, let's get started here. I don't want to stand up because I'm going to go off frame, and I remember that happening the last time we opened something this big. So to start, we do have a little box of, it'll be the drivers and stuff you need on here, probably some warranty information, some other use information. Probably won't read that, to be honest, but I should. Next, we got some instructions on how to take everything out. Next, we have, it looks like a little piece that will go onto the back of the monitor to cover up some cables. Speaking of cables, we do get an HDMI cable. We also get a pretty decently sized power brick, not the biggest power brick that I've ever seen from a monitor, which is a good thing. They definitely can be bigger. I've seen bigger. And then right here, we're gonna get the other half of the power cable. And we're also going to get a mini display port on one end to display port on the other end. And lastly, which this is, to me, this is the best inclusion they could have included, is a USB-C 3.1 to USB-C 3.1 cable, which I will be using to hook up my MacBook, so I can get video and charging all on one cable, which I just love that. Okay, and moving on, we are going to get the monitor out of the box. Are you guys ready? Are you ready? Because I'm super ready. I've been so excited. Ever since I got the email that they were sending this to me, I have been so freaking excited to unbox this. Holy crap. So, we just pull off the styrofoam here. Voila! Oh, okay, I hit my roof. That's okay. And you throw that off to the side, and then, for the sake of this video, I'm gonna stand this up, which I probably wouldn't recommend normally doing. And that's how it's in there. It's in there completely built, and this is why I don't recommend standing it up, because it's gonna fall out. But, boom! There she is, and the rest of this is just styrofoam and box. All right, so next we are going to pull off this wrapping here, and 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! It's a styrofoam protectant. Oh, yay! Oh, this is full-on styrofoam. Okay, Benq, good packaging. I love this. I've unboxed quite a few monitors over the years, and I don't think I've ever had one with an actual piece of styrofoam laid over the screen. Probably about ½ inch thick. Well, let's get this thing freaking off of here. I want to see the screen, man. All right, there we go. That piece is off, and now we have a whole nother. This is normally what I just get on the front of monitors. All right, here we go. Here's the big reveal. There we go. There's the monitor. All right, there we go. Here is the monitor in all of its glory, and this thing is freaking, it's freaking huge, man. I think this is definitely bigger than the 34 inch, obviously only by 1 inch, but I can tell just looking at it that it's bigger. Now, there is a metal stand down here. This thing is actually super heavy, which is good because it's not gonna move around. I don't know what the actual weight is, but this thing is sturdy as heck. As you guys can see, it does move down and up, or up and down, whichever way you want to talk about it. It does not have any swivel, which honestly, you're never gonna swivel. Like I said, I used to have an ultrawide monitor. I honestly never swiveled it. It was cool to have it, but I never really used it. It does tilt quite a bit. If we take a look around the back side of the monitor, there's a hole right here for cable management. There's a BenQ logo right here. It says BenQ curved monitor right here in like pretty small text, but I super love the detailing. And then right here, if you guys can see, is where that little piece would go on to hide our cords. And the stand has this glossy metal look to it. It gives this monitor a super classy look. Like this thing looks like something that would be in a super high-tech office or something like that. This little piece right here, if you guys can see it, is BenQ's Brightness Intelligence Plus technology. I can't wait to try this out. Basically what it does is it controls the brightness and the color temperature on the screen so that it doesn't hurt your eyes and so the white balance is correct. And it says that you can like work better and that kind of thing. I'll have to test it out, see if I actually like it. Normally I turn that kind of thing off, but maybe on this one it'll change my mind. We got the BenQ logo right here. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buttons right here to control the on-screen display. To go over the ports that we do have a power cable, a headphone jack, an HDMI 1, an HDMI 2, a Displayport, 3 USBs, 2 USB Type A's, and the USB Type C. So lastly, before we do go, I want to get this thing hooked up to probably my MacBook and just see how this thing runs. So we're gonna need 3 things here. We're gonna need the power cable, we're gonna need the rest of the power cable, and we're gonna need the USB Type C cord, connection cord, whatever you wanna call it. All right, so let's turn this thing on here. Maybe, oh! There we go, BenQ iCare HDMI. So I plugged in the USB-C cable to the back of the monitor. Now we're gonna plug it into my MacBook, just so we can test to make sure that this thing is able to charge and show display at the same time. So it's connected, you heard the MacBook connect, and hello? And there we freaking go. 3,440 by 1,440 pixels in all of their glory across this 35-inch monitor. This thing is insane. Oh my gosh. So in terms of picture modes on this thing, we do have a standard mode, we have an HDR mode, we have an sRGB mode, a photo mode, a game 1, a game 2, a game 3, a custom 1, a custom 2, and an M hook, an M? I can't read this thing, hold on. A MacBook, an M book. So I assume this is a MacBook setting, which is pretty dope. So we're gonna leave that on there, actually. Boom, so there we go. Now we have a MacBook setting, which I think is super dope. And one thing I do wanna show you guys really quick is just how big of a timeline you can get on this thing. And this is true of obviously every ultra-wide monitor, but just having ultra-wide is insane for video editors. As you can see, I can get a timeline that is super freaking long, and depending on the length of your videos, you're gonna be able to see a pretty good chunk of your video all just on the screen without having to scroll over too much. Now about this point in the video is when I would normally do something like an audio test or like a speaker test, but this monitor does not include built-in speakers. For some of you guys, it's gonna be a deal breaker. Speakers are such a hit or miss thing on a monitor. Some people, that's all they're ever gonna use is the built-in speakers, so not having built-in speakers to them is gonna be a deal breaker. And to other people, built-in speakers are always crappy and they're always gonna be using headphones or they're always gonna be using some sort of speaker setup. Also, in order to put speakers inside of this thing, it obviously costs more money. They got to use more parts. So basically what they can do is they can either put more stuff in for the same price, or they can reduce the price of where it would have been if they put in built-in speakers. So I'm actually glad that there's no speakers in this monitor. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, which is something I would normally mention at the beginning, is the color gamut on this monitor is 100% sRGB, which is really, really good. This monitor is not an IPS monitor like a lot of these ultrawides are. It's a VA monitor, or it's a VA panel, I guess. There's basically 3 main ones. There's IPS, VA, and TN. TN would be pretty bad on an ultrawide because the viewing angles are awful, so looking side to side would be bad. So most of them go for either a VA panel or an IPS. IPS normally do get you a bit better colors, but the main difference that I've seen just looking at it, obviously there's some other differences, but just looking at them, VA is able to get quite a bit deeper blacks than are available on IPS. Because VAs normally have a 3001 and IPS normally have like a 1001 contrast ratio, the blacks that you're able to get on a VA panel are a lot better than the blacks you're going to be able to get on an IPS panel. The downside is VA is kind of in between TN and IPS on viewing angle, and sometimes depending on how they're made, they're a little bit slower as well. But seeing as they put a 100 Hz panel on this and they're aiming it at gaming, BenQ makes really, really good gaming monitors. I assume this is probably going to be decently fast, so I don't think we'll have to worry about that. Alright guys, so that is going to be pretty much it for my unboxing and quick look. So far, I'm super impressed with this monitor. I'm most impressed, honestly, by the build quality of this thing. It's super sturdy, it's super heavy. It's got this nice shiny base, which I absolutely love. It goes really well with like a Dell XPS laptop or like a MacBook like I have here. And also, if you have RGB lights hooked up to your system, they're going to reflect right off of here and it's going to look insane. The bezels, as you guys can see, are pretty dang thin, which I always appreciate, and I'm super excited to fully test this thing out. If you guys have not already, make sure that you do subscribe. This video is probably going to be decently long, so if you watch through to the end of this thing and you have not subscribed, don't wait any longer. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you can see all my videos as soon as they go live. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Make sure to click on one of my other videos in the end card. Have an awesome day, and as always, I have been EavesDrop, and I'm out.